Now, coming on to the principles of treatment. Do we go for surgery straight away if we know that the patient presented to us with the open fractured humerus along with the nerve injury? We shouldn't be going for that kind of surgery, because there are certain principles of nerve injury that first we need to analyze whether it's what kind of injury it is, and then whether we need to operate or not. So in this, we will be discussing briefly the primary versus delayed repair, what is nerve grafting, what are the different types of nerve grafting, and what are the other reconstructive options such as tendon transfers for treatment of nerve injuries. So nerve exploration is not always a choice until unless it's an iatrogenic injury. If the cut was done during a surgery, then it should be repaired there and then. But if it is closed low injuries, usually there results in a neuropraxia. And neuropraxia is a transient problem, and it usually nerve recovers in 1 month to 3 months. The indication includes of the nerve exploration if the nerve was divided and needs to be repaired, that is an iatrogenic injury. If the type of injury suggests nerve has been divided or damaged, that is a complete loss of nerve. If the recovery is delayed and diagnosis is in doubt, that is, for example, it was initially an open fracture, but we were doubtful initially, but there may be a nerve injury as well. Vascular injuries, unstable fractures, tendon divisions should be dealt before the nerve lesion. That is what I was just trying to tell you. That if a patient comes to you with an open humerus injury with the neurovascular bundle not intact, there is a vascular injury as well, then the primary importance is of the vessel first, that restore the arterial supply, fix the bone with form of external fixator so that at least the damaged parts do not increase or decrease for risk further nerve injuries, and nerve injuries can be dealt later once after at 3 months of time, depending upon how much the degree of the nerve damage is done. Coming to the primary repair can be done in multiple forms. This includes usually a clean cut. If this during the surgery, that can be simply sutured back in form of layers. As you can appreciate over here, that usually the sutures are going through the perineurium, and sometimes the epineurium is also closed. If it's a ragged cut, this may need stump sparing, that is, you need to cut the ragged portion out and make sure the cut is clean, and then we can suture it back. But now if it produces some kind of a gap that is more than 2 centimeter, at max 3 centimeter, if it's more gap is more than this, then you have to go for some kind of either nerve graft or use some other mechanism, because these nerves which usually cannot be sutured out. Even if they are sutured out, that will be under severe stress. Usually stumps are anatomically oriented, and if the sutures can be inserted in the perineurium, sometimes epineurium has to be repaired as well. And the most importantly, it has to be a tension free repair. But if it is stretching the nerve, instead of repairing nerve at a stretch, make it either put a graft in, or some other mechanisms are available so that the tension free repair can be done of the nerve. Primary nerve grafting is a choice if you know the less cut is more than 2 centimeter, or if there is a pneumatic tourniquet injury, that this may only require simply splintage as well. Delayed repair is in all cases where there are other associated injuries. For example, there was bony injury, there was vascular injury, there was tendon and other injury, there has to be dealt first. Usually the indicated when closed injury left alone. If it was only associated with fracture, then it can be left alone and fracture can be dealt first. If it was diagnosis was missed, or if the primary repair has failed despite the primary repair was done and still we had a recurrent injury of the nerve, then again the delayed repair can be done. uh, that is it. Usually it's that the resection of the nerve is not done. Usually the most primary once the delayed repair is being done, we usually go for nerve grafting rather than the resecting out of the nerve. And neuroma, if there is present, that has to be resected, because the neuroma will not only be painful, but there is actually increased chances of recurrence of that neuroma, plus that will delay the healing as well. Usually, I just told you, 1 to 2 centimeters is the maximum gap which can be sutured back. But if it is more than that, then has to be given some kind of a support to this nerve in form of graft or something else. Gaps less than 2 centimeters usually regenerate. Silicon, metal, or freeze-dried muscle conduits are used. Collagen and non-engineered tubes can also be used. Human processed allograft can also be used as well. Now, usually what happens is that when we are dealing with gaps more than 2 centimeters, usually there is increased gaps amount, and this results in the tension-free suturing. So instead of simply suturing it up, we have to give some kind of a support in form of grafts, in form of silicon metal or freeze-dried muscle conduits can be used, or simply allografts, which is the nerves of the human species can be used in form of, if there is a large nerve, graft is used. Other options is could be an autologous nerve graft, that is you can use the sular nerve detach from its surface and put it in place of a radial nerve, so as form of a graft. So what are the options for nerve grafting? There's a free autogenous graft such as sural nerve graft, as I just told you. There could be a cable graft, which are usually vascularized graft, which can come with its vasculature. And then there are fine sutures with fibrin glue. That glue is now a new treatment modality in which it can be utilized so that it can bind to these areas. Enzyme staining techniques, pedicle graft from the ulnar nerve can also be used in this form because it's actually expandable. Other reconstructive options include nerve transfers. For example, if we have the nerve is lost and we cannot have a nerve graft possible because of the too much length is needed for the nerve graft, then we include do the nerve transfer. That is, we can use a normal nerve, transfer it to the one which is injured, and cause it so that both the functions can take place. Usually, classical procedure is Oberlin transfer, which restores anti-gravity bicep function, combined with the median fascicle to brachialis nerve, and indicated in the proximal nerve injury. Usually, in the nerve, accessory nerve is rerouted through the neck from the opposite side, so that the bicep can function properly and flexion of the elbow is restored. Other option, if it's more than 6 months, foot end plates are usually degenerated, and there is usually associated with less chances of nerve recovery. Therefore, then we have to go for tendon transfers. Usually, it's seen if there is the proximal injury is the more severe will it be, and eventually we may have to go for tendon transfer. The normal tendon has to be transferred in place with the tendon which we need to repair, and so that it can act as the antagonist of that tendon. Other options include stage operations, which take me months or years, and even joint fusion. If there is eventually the last of all options, is always there is joint orthodesis, which can be done. Usually, coming to the prognosis, delay to repair is actually depending upon the kind of injury it is. Sometimes we can go for acute, but sometimes the repair has to be delayed so that if it's simply compression, that can actually the nerve can recover completely. Similarly, case the nature of injury, if it is neurotomesis or axonotmesis, then we may eventually need surgery, but neuropraxia usually recovers. Depending upon the length of injured segment as well, if it's a small segment, grafting can be used, or even it can be primarily sutured. But if it's a very large segment, then we may have to do some kind of nerve transfer or an autologous nerve graft. If distal lesions, usually there is always a good recovery compared to the proximal, and if it's a root avulsion, they have a very bad prognosis. Usually, if it's associated with a vascular injury, the vascular injury and bone injury takes precedence, and associated direct muscle damage. If it is present with that, usually we have to eventually in 3 months' time we have to go for surgery. Then lastly, it's a type of nerve. For example, if the cutaneous nerve, even if it's damaged, then we can just leave it such, because that will only compromise the cutaneous sensation. But if it's like the median nerve or the ulnar nerve, which is which is supplying group of muscles, when for the function elbow and wrist is needed, so that we have to go for a transfer. Other surgical techniques include tendon transfers, which are maybe needed, so that all these factors actually affect the outcome. In this section, we have gone through different techniques which can be used for nerve repair. As you know, that nerve repair, it could be acute form of nerve repair. If it is an injury which is iatrogenic, we can just repair it back using the suturing of the epineurium. But usually the nerve repair is delayed for 3 months. Then we can go for a delayed repair, means going either for proximal suturing, or we can use nerve grafts, we can use allogenic nerve grafts, we can use autologous nerve grafts. And if it's too late, that is after 6 months, usually the tendon transplant is the ideal choice of treatment. That's all from this section. Keep watching sqadia.com.